So I get asked a lot about what types of brands for cutting tools do I recommend. And in terms of like a more pure bushcraft, general survival and prepping knife, in terms of utility and just function over form, what would I recommend? You know, if it was just a handful of brands, and I'm going to whittle it even down to three, just so it's easier. But what would you really pick? And so this is my opinion. This is going to be a very short video. For your fixed blade, I think Mora knives is a good starting point for the beginner and even the expert prepper. Someone that knows their way around knives, can appreciate it, and the beginner can afford them. And they have a full range of knives. And so if you want to spend more, they have things that are more expensive that may give you a little more capability. But they have selection and options. The second would be your multi-tool. If you do not need pliers and a wire cutter, I think that Victorinox Swiss Army knives is an excellent choice. And I would go with them. They have so many different sizes and tools with various different implements to choose from. I really don't think that you could walk away from their offerings and not be able to find what you're looking for. Now, on the off chance that you do want, pliers and a multi-tool that has the ability to cut wire and things like that, then I would look at Leatherman. I think Leatherman is a good choice. For me, though, I don't hardly ever cut wire. I don't hardly ever need, pliers or needle nose pliers of any type. And so I just pretty much stick with my Victorinox Swiss Army knives. There's nothing wrong with the Winger brand of the Swiss Army knives either, if you're into that. But for me, the Victorinox is just typically what I stick with. And so hopefully that clarifies some of the questions. Those brands right there are pretty decent valued. I think that Leatherman is probably by far the most expensive for what you get. But for the most part, it's pretty decent. The most of them, to my knowledge, if not all of them, are made in America and the good old USA. So you kind of, sometimes the prices reflect where they're made. So that's fine, I guess. But I think overall, though, you kind of have to look at, practical, value-oriented, usable tools. And I think that Mora knives, Victorinox, Swiss Army knives, and Leatherman is really where it is for the bulk of the outdoor enthusiast. And of course, I'm not saying that there isn't an echelon, a mountain of other brands that you could, pick from. I mean, certainly there is. There's like so many choices. But I'm just saying, if you're just starting out in particular, and you're kind of confused with all the distractions of what's out there, especially if you watch videos from SHOT Show or other types of trade shows, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 100 different options here, and you just started to look. Calm down and just go back to foundational tools and brands that have been around for a long time, that have a very good history, and that actually those tools work when you need them. There's a lot of tools that are just too early and new in the market to know if they're going to even be of any kind of use in the long term, or how they're even going to hold up even in the short term. So I think it's just really prudent to, especially if you're making a go bag, for example, and in this go bag you need a blade, I wouldn't just throw anything in that bag. Because if you need it to work when you need it to work. So let's go ahead and just be honest with ourselves and look at things that have worked in the past. Thanks a lot for your support. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You guys take care.